The document known as Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, SWFQW, emerged in the late 20th century as an anonymously authored technical manual purporting to describe how ruling elites could manage societies through methods analogous to systems engineering and electronic control. Whether apocryphal or authentic, its central premise was chilling, that human societies could be modeled as electrical circuits in which households were treated as loads, currencies as capacitors, and labor as inductors. By manipulating flows of energy, credit, and information, governing powers could induce oscillations, shortages, and crises in ways that maximize predictability and controllability. The peace protocols adopt this same systems rigor but invert its telos. Where SWFQW sought to amplify scarcity and dependency, the peace protocols seek to engineer liberation, resilience, and abundance. The hypothesis is straightforward but radical. When essential provisioning is decentralized across 12 resource realms, and when sovereignty is restored across 7 human bodies, the resulting system enters a stable equilibrium that is measurably superior. This introduction sets the stage for a mathematical inversion. By applying the same categories, capacitance, conductance, inductance, we demonstrate how abundance architectures are not only ethically preferable, but also dynamically more efficient and stable than scarcity architectures. Electronic circuits provide a natural metaphor for flows of energy and value in human societies. Where SWFQW treated these flows as exploitable vulnerabilities, the peace protocols reinterpret them as regenerative assets. Capacitance, CE. In electronics, capacitance measures a system's ability to store charge. Socially, we define economic capacitance as the stock of community-owned regenerative infrastructure, solar microgrids, aquaponics facilities, atmospheric water harvesters. Conductance, GE. Conductance measures the ease with which current flows. In regenerative societies, this corresponds to the efficiency of local flows, short supply chains, open-source communications, transparent exchanges. Inductance, Li. Inductance resists sudden changes in current, preserving inertia. Socially, this maps to the creative inertia of purpose-aligned culture and labor. We define the Peace Efficiency Index, P, as the sum of regenerative outputs relative to dependencies across the 12 realms. P equals the sum from I equals sign 1 to 12 of R underscore I divided by D underscore I, where D underscore I is greater than 0. As long as regenerative output in any realm is positive, the term R underscore I over D underscore I grows without bound as dependency decreases. Thus, as D underscore I approaches 0 for all realms, P approaches infinity. Complementing P, the Community Vitality Index, CVI, integrates human flourishing against scarcity drivers. CVI equals H plus DG plus F divided by S plus DB plus D, where all variables are greater than or equal to 0. The numerator includes H, health, preventive plus regenerative measures, DG, dignity, cultural integrity, and social inclusion, F, freedom, political agency, and economic autonomy. The denominator includes S, scarcity, DB, debt burden, D, dependency. CVI increases as communities improve health, dignity, and freedom, and decreases as scarcity, debt, or dependency rise. In dynamical systems, scarcity architectures push eigenvalues near the imaginary axis, yielding oscillatory instability. Regenerative provisioning increases damping ratio, causing disturbances to decay faster. Algebraic connectivity rises with decentralization, indicating stronger overall cohesion. Hub-betweenness decreases, lowering the risk of catastrophic cascades. We propose a Lyapunov function. Vx equals 1/2 times the sum from I equal, sine 1 to 12 of R underscore I over D underscore I squared, plus alpha times CVI squared, where alpha is greater than 0. Lasting peace cannot be engineered solely through material provisioning. The peace protocols articulate 7 sovereign bodies, interdependent domains of being that together define the holistic vitality of individuals and communities. The spiritual body represents alignment between individual and collective purpose, often described as coherence with source. We define a spiritual coherence index, S underscore C equals F of theta underscore coh, where theta underscore coh measures the phase alignment of individual purpose with collective mission. The mental body reflects the degree to which knowledge is not merely accumulated but effectively applied. We define information flow efficiency, IFE. IFE equals knowledge applied divided by knowledge consumed. The emotional body is measured through coherence of affective states. We define emotional coherence, E underscore C E underscore C equals HRV underscore COH, where HRV underscore COH represents heart rate variability coherence, a biomarker of balanced autonomic function and resilience under stress. The physical body encompasses direct access to food, water, shelter, and healthcare. We define local resource autonomy, LRA. LRA equals resources local divided by resources total. Debt has long been the silent weapon of control. The economic body is measured through debt freedom ratio, DFR. DFR equals 1 minus debt divided by income. The cultural body maintains continuity of meaning, tradition, and innovation. We define the Cultural Continuity Index, CCI. CCI equals traditions preserved plus innovations adopted, divided by total cultural assets. The political body measures sovereignty through participation in decision-making. We define the Sovereignty Participation Ratio, SPR. SPR equals active citizens divided by total citizens. If the 7 sovereign bodies represent the inner sovereignty of human beings, the 12 resource realms represent the outer sovereignty of communities. The energy realm concerns generation, storage, and distribution of power. We measure this with Energy Autonomy Ratio, EAR. EAR equals E underscore local divided by E underscore demand, where E underscore local is energy generated within the community, and E underscore demand is total energy demand. Water sovereignty underpins life and health. We measure this with Water Sovereignty Index, WSI. WSI equals W underscore regen divided by W underscore consumed, where W underscore regen is regenerated or locally harvested water. Food is the most intimate form of energy exchange. We measure this with Local Nutrition Ratio, LNR. LNR equals food underscore local divided by food underscore total. Health is often captured by centralized pharmaceutical industries. A regenerative model emphasizes prevention and self-care, measured by Wellness Autonomy Index, WAI. WAI equals preventive plus regenerative divided by total care. Housing sovereignty ensures safety, stability, and dignity, measured by Housing Independence Score, CHES. HIS equals region units divided by total housing. Waste is not a liability but a misplaced resource, measured by Circularity Index, CI. CI equals reused divided by discarded. Education determines how quickly knowledge becomes action, measured by Knowledge Liberation Index, KLI. Communication ensures truth and transparency, measured by Freedom of Flow Ratio, FFR. The remaining realms, transportation, manufacturing, economics, and governance, each have corresponding metrics. Mobility Autonomy Fraction, MAF. Regenerative Production Ratio, RPR, Abundance Finance Index, AFI, and Justice Coherence Index, JCI. When the indices of all 12 realms rise, dependency factors D underscore I across the system approach 0. According to the peace efficiency equation, this drives PE toward infinity. In Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, one of the central methods of control was the deliberate use of shock testing. Economic and resource shocks, fuel shortages, interest rate spikes, food price increases, were used as input signals into the human circuit. The peace protocols invert this principle. We define the resilience delta, S underscore R equals delta C underscore pos, minus delta C underscore neg, where delta C underscore pios is increase in community coherence from positive interventions. Examples of coherence shocks include free energy days when a new regenerative generator comes online, debt jubilees with forgiveness of exploitative debts, harvest festivals, and surplus sharing events. The HeartMath Institute has demonstrated that heart rate variability coherence is a biomarker of resilience under stress. Training in positive emotion states produces higher HRV coherence, which accelerates recovery after disturbances. When coherence shocks increase CVI, they inject negative energy into V dot of X, accelerating convergence to the abundance equilibrium. Scarcity shocks add positive energy, destabilizing the system. A civilization that systematically programs coherence shocks will naturally evolve toward higher CVI and P. Peace is accelerated when positive coherence shocks outnumber and outweigh negative scarcity shocks. To achieve both resilience and scalability, the peace protocols adopt a model of 54 regional chapters, each composed of 144 peace engineers, producing 7,776 participants. A single keystone coherence node raises the total to 7,777. Each chapter is designed as a sovereignty cell, a group large enough to embody all 12 resource realms, yet small enough to maintain direct accountability. Size: 144 members organized in 12 teams of 12 members each. Unlike centralized command structures, The keystone coherence node functions as a global resonance steward, a protocol layer that aggregates coherence metrics from all chapters and redistributes them as a shared signal. The peace protocols unfold in 4 phases: mission communication, training and measurement, regional deployment, and global synchronization. This topology mirrors mycelial networks in ecosystems, distributed intelligence without central command. Algebraic connectivity increases with interlinked, equally sized nodes, while hub betweenness is reduced. The choice of 7,777 is both mathematical and symbolic. The number 7 represents wholeness and completion. Tripled, it suggests resonance across dimensions. The 7,777 peace engineers embody numerical sufficiency and spiritual coherence. The peace protocols are not intended as abstract philosophy. They are a testable framework. Just as any scientific theory must be subject to falsification and replication, so too must peace engineering be subject to rigorous validation. Each of the 12 resource realms is equipped with a quantifiable index. These indices allow for before and after comparisons when regenerative technologies are deployed against control communities with no deployment. The Community Vitality Index validation requires measuring both numerator terms, health, dignity, freedom, and denominator terms, scarcity, debt, dependency, using mixed method surveys and biometric devices measuring HRV coherence. Statistically significant improvements across multiple realms would validate that regenerative decentralization directly raises PE, while biometric improvements would confirm that coherence shocks enhance human resilience. By embedding regenerative technologies within each realm, dependencies shrink, causing the peace efficiency index to rise toward divergence. The 12 realms plus 7 bodies are interlocking attractors, a feedback system that pulls civilization toward peace as the mathematically efficient equilibrium. Peace is not a utopian ideal. It is the system's efficient attractor state when designed for resonance and regeneration. The peace protocols provide the mathematical blueprint for regenerative abundance and global peace.